He ruled the most powerful empire in the world, commanded vast armies, faced plagues, betrayal, and war. But he wasn't trying to conquer you. He was trying to save you. Not with laws or legions, but with words. Late at night, in the silence of a war tent, he wrote in a journal. Not for the world. Not for fame. Just for himself. But those words survived, and they speak to you now. His name was Marcus Aurelius. Philosopher, emperor, stoic, and his book, Meditations, may be the most powerful guide to surviving life's chaos that humanity has ever produced. He didn't write to rule the future. He wrote to rescue your mind. This is the story of the emperor who's trying to save you. The Philosopher King. Marcus Aurelius ruled Rome from 161 to 180 AD, a time of relentless war, plague, and instability. But long before he wore the crown, he was a student, a thinker, a seeker of truth. As a young man, Marcus was drawn to philosophy, especially a branch called Stoicism. While other emperors pursued pleasure and glory, Marcus studied virtue and mortality. He read the works of Epictetus, a former slave who taught, "It's not what happens to you, but how you respond to it that matters." That idea would become the core of Marcus's soul. What is Stoicism? Stoicism began in ancient Greece, but it found its true power in Rome. At its core, Stoicism teaches 4 things. 1. Control what you can. Let go of what you can't. 2. Live with virtue, courage, justice, wisdom, and discipline. 3. Don't be a slave to emotion. Observe. Respond. Don't react. 4. Accept death. It gives life its urgency and clarity. For Marcus, this wasn't just theory. It was daily practice. He woke up with it, led armies with it, and at night, often by candlelight, he wrote about it. A book written in war. Marcus wrote Meditations while camped on battlefields, fighting Germanic tribes near the Danube. Rome was under siege. His co-emperor had died. A deadly plague had swept through the empire. His wife passed away. The weight of the world was on his shoulders. But he didn't lash out. He turned inward, to reflect, to stay centered. Meditations wasn't written to be published. It was a series of personal reminders, notes to self. That's what makes it powerful. It's not performance. It's raw self-discipline. The wisdom inside Meditations. Let's explore some of Marcus's most timeless lessons, and why they matter more now than ever. 1. On control. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Marcus reminds us that we don't control the economy, the weather, or other people. We only control our judgments, our actions, our responses. 2. On death and time. Do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over you. While you live, while it is in your power, be good. Death, for Marcus, wasn't something to fear. It was the fire that sharpened focus, the reminder to waste no time, to live well, now. 3. On ego. Soon you will have forgotten all things. Soon all things will have forgotten you. Fame fades. Achievements vanish. What matters is the kind of person you are, not how loudly the world applauds you. 4. On anger. How much more harmful are the consequences of anger than the causes of it? He warned that anger is weakness disguised as power. True strength is calm in chaos, the ability to choose your response. 5. On kindness and duty. When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. Even as a ruler, he believed in service. Every day was a chance to act with integrity, not entitlement. Why it still resonates today. Why does a book written in 180 AD still feel relevant in 2025? Because the chaos Marcus faced is not so different from our own. Political division, disease, anxiety, social media outrage, fear of the future. He wrote not about conquering the world, but conquering the self. And that is still the greatest challenge of modern life. In fact, Meditations has inspired everyone from US presidents like Bill Clinton, athletes like Tom Brady, therapists and military commanders, even modern CEOs and Navy SEALs. Why? Because when you strip everything away, we all seek the same things: peace, strength, meaning. Marcus offers those things, not in fantasy, but in practice. How to use meditations today. So how can you actually apply Marcus Aurelius' wisdom to your own life? Here are 5 Stoic practices you can start today. 1. Journaling. Write down your thoughts each morning or evening. Ask, what can I control? What should I let go of? Just like Marcus did. 2. Negative visualization. Imagine losing what you love, not to suffer, but to appreciate it more deeply. Stoics use this to stay grounded and grateful. 3. The dichotomy of control. Draw a line. On one side, things you can control. On the other, things you can't. Focus only on the first. 4. Virtue as the only good. Be honest. Be brave. Be fair. Be self-disciplined. Not for reward, but because it's right. 5. Memento mori. Remember you must die. Keep mortality in mind to live more fully. Not with fear, but with urgency and purpose. A quiet legacy. Marcus didn't build massive temples to himself. He didn't name cities in his honor. He didn't crave statues. But today, his words live on, in minds, not marble. Meditations is one of the most widely read spiritual texts in history. Not because he was perfect, but because he was human. A powerful man who asked himself every day, am I living with virtue? Am I being just, wise, and disciplined? Am I making good use of the time I've been given? The Stoic Emperor lives on. In a world that celebrates noise, Marcus Aurelius invites us to silence. In a world that values power, he teaches self-control. In a world obsessed with more, he reminds us of enough. He didn't try to save the world with weapons. He tried to save it, and himself, with wisdom. And 2,000 years later, his message is clear. Look well within. There lies the fountain of good. It will ever bubble up if you will ever dig. This is the Stoic path, and it's still open to you.